Warriors rise.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I just don't have the voice for it. But anyway,
That was great.
welcome in, guys.
That was a good job.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I can always count my team.
Is it because you're afraid of yelling?
Kind of. Like, I'm afraid of being too much more manly than you guys. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, man.
I'm
Right?
teasing.
You don't want to
teasing.
show us
No.
up, huh?
No, I'm just teasing. Maybe one day on this game. No, I'm just kidding. All right, guys, welcome to the new Well Transfer podcast. We've actually got a couple treats for you today. But as we get into it, we are going to go around the room and do some introductions because we have someone brand new on the podcast that you do know who he is if you're in the academy, but if you have only been following us on socials, you may not know who he is. So I'm super excited. I'm going to start with him. Clinton.
Hey, Warriors.
Hey.
Hey, we're
What's happening?
yeah.
Oh gosh, I can't find it. Oh, go ahead.
No worries. I am Clinton. I am the newest 3T Warrior Academy coach.
Woohoo.
And
Let's
Yeah,
go.
Can't
That's
go wrong
the
with sound effects.
We need
and
the
he's
sound
in and
effects
out
here.
Jackie.
and new to the coaching side, but not new to the ecosystem. So
That's right.
Oh, Clinton has been here from the beginning, guys. From when we look back. Well, D has to flash this while I'm like struggling with my cord over here. Jeremy's
Let's get that
gonna
close up.
Jeremy's gonna out me here in a second.
So
but
why is your cord not connected yet? Is it like you just came in real
Yeah.
quick?
Wow.
Right.
you want to
at-
know why my
time
cord is
to-
not connected yet? Because this is my third cord for this computer. I had to order a brand new one because Jeremy wouldn't get me a computer. with
That's not
a
true.
sustainable cord. So
I
flip
told you
that.
a couple
flip
of weeks
that
ago
on
what
ya.
to
No.
do. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah.
But if you guys don't know, Clinton has been with us from the very, very start, back when we look at some of our videos when they were a little more painful. But we super are excited to have Clinton live with us in the studio. He is also here in AZ. And yeah, he's not new at all to the ecosystem. An amazing coach. I have
And he
to
makes
laugh.
really good cookies.
yes,
He does.
I do. Chocolate
I-
chip cookies.
Heck
He does.
We were talking about those cookies.
Yes.
Yep.
I have to laugh too because when he first came in, I was like, "Yeah, we'll get you up and running. We'll get you training." And everyone knows if you guys, I mean, I'm about to see a bunch of head nods on this screen because when you join us, it's sink or swim, and you have to learn pretty quickly.
Yes.
So he did. He's phenomenal, and we're excited to have him. All right, we'll switch it over. We'll start top to bottom. Gonzo.
How's it going? Yeah. No, I'm super proud of Clinton,
Yeah.
right? Because he's been with us from the beginning, and I remember doing like we used to have the old library of all the different technical analysis calls that I did, and you never know like who's actually like absorbing the information and who's applying it. So Clinton is an example of somebody that did what I did, right? They applied the information that was available to them, and then they took it and ran with it, right? And kind of developed their own style. I know that Clinton goes deep into Wyckoff accumulation, and that's why I lean in for that, right? I kind of branched out into other avenues of technical analysis like Elliott wave theory and stuff like that. But I always knew that, well, it looks like Clinton's got Wyckoff accumulation handled, so I could go on to something else, and I could just ask him about what he thinks about Wyckoff accumulation. So very proud of him, and it's super cool to have him here finally on the team with us and to have him on the podcast. But yeah, an interesting 48 hours, right?
Mhm.
We literally had the 10-10 event, but to the other side, right? I know that we're going to find all the narratives about the buybacks with the bonds, that we had the crypto summit, that we finally found Brad Garlinghouse and all of those things. But at the end of the day, we had extreme price compression, and we knew that a big move was coming. I kept telling the academy, there's a big move incoming, right? And what we saw was the biggest short squeeze in crypto history. Just like we had the biggest liquidation event in crypto history of 19 billion on 1010, this was the reverse of it. The first 24 hours was 3 billion, and we just wrecked another 1 billion in shorts in the last 24 hours. So you saw one of the biggest short squeezes ever in crypto history. And that's why you're getting all of this positive price action, right? And so I tell people to remain calm, don't FOMO, right? It's funny how when we were boring and we were price compressing, didn't get a lot of questions, didn't get a lot of Like, hey, should I buy now? What should I do? And as soon as we get a 20% candle, like my DMs blow up and everybody wants to know what they should buy, right? And they get that emotion that stirs them up, right? And so what I went live in the academy this morning, and I told people, if you have a dollar cost average strategy or a plan that was already in place, then execute that plan. Yeah, it sucks that we're buying a little bit higher, but right, that was your plan. If you're reacting to pure emotion and that you're trying to FOMO in and buy and get money and do all these things just to buy because you think that the price is getting away from you, that is reacting by pure emotion, and that never ends well, right? It just never ends well. That is the definition of FOMO. And when you FOMO, right, you usually get wrecked. And so have some patience, right? Let's see how it plays out. Price action has not gone anywhere, right? I showed this too. When we're looking at all-time highs to where we are currently, right? This is just like the first kind of rally that's coming out of a bear market, and we have no idea if this is going to hold. Later on, I'll show charts and I'll look at, like, have we seen this move before? And the answer is yes, right? We saw it in the 2019 kind of little bear market that we had, where Bitcoin, funny enough, topped in apathy, and we topped in apathy in 2026 where nobody cared, right? And so we had a 44% move in that little mini cycle for Bitcoin. So we're at like 20 something percent. So this is nothing new or nothing like that's extraordinary. The liquidation event absolutely is something different, but the price action alone is not is not anything different, right? And so again, I'm not going to be stubborn and be set in my ways about that the low's not in. If we can break 84K and we can make a higher high and we can break the trend, well, then we'll have a different conversation. But for now, we're waiting to see how this is going to play out, and you just got to give it time.
I love it.
I left them silent.
You did.
Someone in the
Mic
chat
drop.
asked, Jeremy, are you sleeping?
No, I'm trying to freaking get this. I
No.
was trying to post something,
Jeremy's
And
just
then
being
I was-
rude, and he's not.
and then I
being-
was trying to intently listen to Gonzo at the same time that I was posting something in case someone brought it up. Because what were we doing the other day? And I was trying to look at data, and every time that I was doing it, you were like, Jeremy, what's your take on this? And I'm all,
Yes.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I think this week was actually pretty pivotal. A lot of big news announcements, and so I want to toss this around the room to everybody with, the debt buybacks. I talked about that a little bit this morning. That's pretty big for me, in my opinion. And then, we kind of have Scott Bessent came out and, hey, we have a bigger plan. Just kind of wait for it, and it's like, oh, well, what is that plan? Please share. So curious your guys' thoughts. We'll start with you.
Mario.
Is it Mario?
No,
Yeah, it was
well,
not that-
honestly,
Yeah,
well,
It's all right.
Gonzo, actually, it's funny you say that because I was like, oh, I guess we're not going to introduce the rest of the guys because you just kind of
Sorry.
No, I thought the
Yeah.
take was perfect. All right, I mean, we can still do introductions.
Gonzo
We're
came
about
out guns
we're
blazing.
about
He did.
50 minutes into the podcast, but no, I'm just kidding.
Mario.
Oh, it's coming to me. Okay, so hi everybody. Good to be back on the show. I do want to say, great to have you with us, Clinton, obviously. And as Gonzo was saying, the Wyckoff stuff, I couldn't help but think about Wyclef Jean and your Wyckoff Clinton. So amazing to have a Wyckoff Clinton in the team. Super excited to be here with everybody. I'm not going to rant like Gonzo because otherwise Jeremy won't be able to do his intro. Jeremy, over to you.
Jeremy, close us out for the next hour and a half.
You're on mute, bro.
Oh no,
You're on
mute.
Jeremy, you're
Get
muted.
yourself off of mute, sir.
Anytime.
oh my God. It's because I'm trying to do 9,000 things. here.
You
I'm sorry.
ruined it.
All right.
No.
I know I ruined it. I actually said we'll see you guys next week. Anyways, my name is Jeremy. I'm the CFO of 3T Warrior Academy. I'm excited to be here. I've had a fantastic morning. Myself and Mario just started a new segment that we're focusing on to show people live updates and demos of Merlin called Merlin Off the Charts. We're going to be doing that every 3 weeks on Fridays because Friday is apparently content day. And I'm going to be, I guess, streaming for a total of 7 hours hours on Fridays here moving forward. So I'm really excited about that. But it's something that I love to do, and I'm excited to be here and excited to see what is going on, because I haven't really been paying attention to anything in the markets except for what's been going on with crypto just recently. So this will all be news to me. It'll be fantastic. It'll be a new show for me specifically, and I'm happy that Clinton's on here.
Yeah.
Let's go. And
go.
then we have the
Greetings and salutations.
greetings, Earthlings.
Greetings, Earthlings. All right.
D, how's your Friday?
My Friday is awesome. We had a great show this morning in the war room. Jackie killed it.
Thank you.
So we had a great time. Great content in the comment section. And I feel good. I got my cup of coffee here. This is only my second cup for the day. So I'm still going. About one more cup and I'll be doing 100 down the highway.
Are you a 3-cup guy?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I like 3 cups. That's the sweet spot right there.
I like it. I'll
Heck
have
yeah.
to get you a coffee cup. You
Yeah.
can share
I
in
drink
my
about 10 cups of coffee a day,
yeah,
plus
share
2 decaf ones, plus about a half a gallon of water, plus an energy drink to keep me going.
That's
I
a
used to
whole
be
lot
a-
of
That's my day.
that's
my
bathroom
day.
run city.
I used to be a 3 to 4 espresso a day kind of guy, and I'm
Wow.
0 for the last 2 months. 0 caffeine for the last 2 months.
Nice, man.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's really cool.
Heck yeah.
Yep.
All right.
I'll get there
Sorry to
maybe
burst your
one
coffee
day.
bubble.
So that's okay. I probably would be better if I did that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like to do it once in a while. I feel like we get just dependent on it. So once in a while, I just like to dramatically break the cycle and go a little bit without it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mario's like, you peasants, you coffee drinking peasants. No, just kidding.
I remember there was a time that you didn't drink coffee, Jackie.
There was a time.
When she
It
was like
was-
5.
It was not too long ago. It was probably like
No, it wasn't that long
2
ago
years
either.
ago.
One day I just came in and she drinking coffee. I'm like, Jackie, why are you drinking coffee? And then I saw her with coffee all of the time that I saw her. It was like a brand new addiction for her.
It was like seeing a baby never before given a lollipop.
Correct,
And then once that baby had one lick of the lollipop, they could never stop.
That's exactly what it was. It's like 100%.
Jackie,
what it
nowadays it's not lollipops anymore. It's iPads. You give a kid an
Mm.
iPad and that's it.
That is
true.
accurate. It is so
Yes.
wild how quickly, actually, speaking of that, let's kind of go down that rabbit hole. I have been using the feature on ChatGPT, like speaking with like the live person that you can
Mhm.
talk theories out with and stuff. And it's just so crazy how quickly, like, honestly, this morning I was like, oh, I'm gonna talk to my friend. I haven't even named her yet, but the voice and the kind of feedback and the information you get, it's just so quickly how much us as individuals can attach to that. And so I remember reading a theory of that is going to drastically change what we know as like relationships with I guess human like things more into with technology. So let's talk about that a little bit, and then we can kind of swing it back into markets with the AI route.
Yes,
We
Gonzo,
spoke
tell us
about
what's going
that.
on in the markets.
Yeah, we actually spoke about that because
Yeah.
Mario. Well, you tell it, Mario, because it's your life and how
Yeah.
you use your ChatGPT. Conversely,
Yes. So as Jeremy said before, we were doing our new show for Merlin, and I decided to do we were going to talk about the fact you can connect Merlin to ChatGPT, Grok, and Claude. So I did like a little fun demo with the voice, but I did also share that the new voice feature from ChatGPT is improved. It's wild. Like you're talking to it and it kind of just like, when you're talking to someone and they're like, okay.
Yeah.
And so it does those things. And so what I've been doing for the past few days, like I started this week, is I'll put my AirPods. I take a long walk every morning. I'm doing about like 2 miles every morning. So I put my AirPods on and I get very creative when I'm walking. So I have like all these ideas. And before I would end up like pulling out my phone and like going to ChatGPT, talking to it about my idea, or pulling out my notes and taking notes on my ideas. Now I've got my AirPod on. I've got the ChatGPT voice up and I'm literally just talking to it. And a lot of the things it can actually accomplish for me. I can say like, can you draft an email about this, or can you look into my schedule for today and tell me what it's going to be like? Can you look into my Merlin portfolio and tell me how it's performing in the last 24 hours? So it's awesome. Like I feel like, yeah, we're at the precipice of a massive change of, like you were saying, Jackie, of how we interact with intelligence, right? And we all got used to over the last couple of years of just typing away and getting answers, but that is the beginning. Like most people, and I told Jeremy, most people aren't even using the next phase of AI, which is actually having AI do things for you. We're all using AI, or most people are using AI to like give them answers and give them the thing that they then need to go and do. But most people aren't using AI to actually do things for them. And that's the next phase. And it's, I think, about 9 months behind.
Yeah, I connected Claude to Excel, and I uploaded the Age of Radio hex colors into it. And then I had it make me a Gantt chart. If you guys don't know what a Gantt chart is, it's a list of tasks and then like how much percentages you're completed to those tasks. And then it like colors them off as the weeks go by based off of the percentage. And I had it build me out a Gantt chart for a project that I'm doing in Age of Radio to cut some costs and all the things that I need to get done before I can end this different software and move it over to another software that we're using. And it did something that would have taken me, I don't know, probably like an hour. It did it in like 20 minutes, like everything start to finish from what I needed as me talking to it. So then I was like, oh, I'm interested in learning what else I can connect, because we have the MCP connection for Merlin. I was like, what else can I connect to Claude and start seeing what I can do? So I connected my Q Financial bookkeeping company's drive to it from Google Drive. And inside that drive, I was able to go to Claude and I was like, hey, can you look to see what statements I've received from all of the clients to see if they have updated statements? So the bookkeeping company that I third party with, they can do the reconciliations. And then it just gave me a list of what was missing from where we were at year to date on what bank statements we needed. It did it in like a half a minute. It was like no time at all. And it gave me all this information. And then I noticed something that I wanted to change in the 3T fitness file. And so I asked it to make me a folder and then move these things into that folder. I went back to what I was doing, and then I got a notification that it was done on my computer. And I went and looked, and it had done the thing that I needed to do. And that is the next step of where we need to get to with what information that we can have. Or like this last weekend, I have a side project band for fun, and I was looking at some recording stuff to record some of my music so I don't forget it. And so it's on a Zoom. It's called a Zoom R4. And so I uploaded the compendium, a bunch of information in a Gemini notebook for sources. And as I was recording, I was just asking Gemini different things about what to do with the device, and it allowed me to do it. Like that's the stage that we need to get to with how we're utilizing artificial intelligence, because it can massively increase our own efficiency and our own knowledge that would have taken us years of studying and reading to go and find, to organize, to do. And that's what I'm excited about. But I can also see the other side where the possible problems that it has on the environment, the data center consumption, all that. I get all of that, but this is going to be a technology that's going to completely change the entire planet.
But it's like you said, Jeremy, it's how you use the technology though, because like think about it. In the morning, I'm doing a walk outside, getting the first sunlight, putting 2 miles in. It's good for my body, it's good for my brain, and I'm still being productive. I've got the AirPod, I'm talking to it. I'm it's when I'm most creative, so I'm able to take advantage of that. So I'm using it in a way where it benefits me. At the same time, I'm able to speed up my production and the things that I like to do, and at the same time I'm staying healthy. So it's about how you use the app or how you use the tool, and if you use it for a way that improves your life, that's the
or like I'll have it go, like I'll have Claude do research for me, and like if there's something that I'm stuck on in my mind, I'll be like, hey Claude, can you, well, not, so I won't speak to it, but I'll type it. I'll be like, hey, Claude, can you go research this, this, and this, and this, and organize it for me? And I'll just set it on my nightstand. I'll go to bed. And then when I get up in the morning, it's all ready for me to look at. Like there is massive amounts of knowledge that we can get from this faster than we've ever been able to do before. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but currently it feels like a good thing. So
I agree. Good thing.
Yeah, you know, and I'll take the AI thing to like a different area, and it's when you look at like they're starting to kind of track the amount of traffic that you have on the internet that is like human and then AI agents, right? And the AI agents are starting to absorb more and more and more. And I can't remember exactly what year they're projecting, if it was 2030 or it was 2037, but 99.9% of all internet traffic will be AI agents, right? As we get more used to them and we start turning over more things to them, right? And so when you look at blockchain and you look at cryptocurrency, for me, it's the same trade as the AI trade, right? Right now, the AI trade is playing out in all these different stocks and these data centers and that piece of the trade. Where cryptocurrency or blockchain comes in is as these AI agents take over the entire internet, how will they exchange value, right? And that is what blockchain was built for, to exchange value, right? Whether we don't know which blockchains are going to win that, but you're going to have AI agents that are communicating with AI agents from Spain, right? Which we're in a different currency. How are they going to exchange value? It's going to be on the blockchain, right? They're going to have their own wallets. They're going to have access to certain blockchains, right? And they're going to be able to exchange value. I think it was Rand from Crypto Banter that gave the example of once you start getting all these self-driving cars, right? And let's say that you're late for the airport and the other one is just driving to get a cup of coffee, right? And now you want your car to pass the other one because you're late to the airport. So how does it do that? It communicates, but why would the other AI get out of the way to let you pass? Well, they exchange value.
Here's
right?
$100.
Exactly, right? Maybe it's I don't know what it is, right? But they start to communicate and they exchange value to allow you to move out of the way and then get to the airport. That makes a lot of sense to me, right? I think we're still just very early in the adoption of blockchain, but it works for me hand in hand in what AI is doing and how the internet is going to evolve. We're just right now in the middle of kind of setting the foundation of those payment rails and which blockchains are going to be the ones that are going to get the most use.
Yeah, one of the things, if you guys didn't get a chance to watch any of the Google stuff, because I know most of the people on here like iPhone and Apple products, looking at Mario.
Or you're
smart.
awkward with both products.
Smart.
So Gemini, I forgot who they're partnering with, but they're gonna have glasses come out. But like in their glasses, you'll be able to augment reality with maps, and then you'll also be able to talk to your glasses to, like, let's say you're walking somewhere, but you want to stop and pick up coffee. You can ask Gemini, and then the AI will go in and get the coffee ordered for you, and then it'll be available for you to pick up on your walk to wherever it is that you're going. Those are the benefits of AI. Now, I'm very anti-glasses because I've had to wear glasses since I was in second grade, and I will take my contacts any day of the week over physical glasses. So I guess, you know, I'm hoping for a necklace from Apple, but I think that Trey had to ruin my dreams the other day and say that they're going to drop the pendant and focus on their the Siri AI and the pods.
The AirPods.
It's interesting.
And the AirPods are going to have a camera on them, and that's how you're going to be able to converse. But then again, my argument was I don't want to wear earphones all the time. Just give me a necklace that can see everything that I can talk to. Anyway, we're not going to go.
No, it's interesting you actually mentioned that because I can't remember who it was. I was watching a podcast, and then they mentioned a quote from someone that said, because they got to meet with, I think it was, goodness, I wish I remembered all these names, but they were coming out with a wristband that was going to do a lot of the features that you were talking about. And then he said, we keep adding these devices, and the next level is going to be like deviceless. It's going to be like actually like an implant, right? Into the wrist or something like that you don't have to
I want
strap
that.
On. I know that'll be a conflicting
I'm
issue
super
there.
chip oriented. I'm
amongst
super
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Sorry,
mean,
Jeff, you go on.
That's
No,
in
you're-
movies and stuff. Yeah.
it is, but it's kind of funny. Like we keep, we're so used to having some form of device that's not necessarily attached to the body, the human body. But I think that's where you get into the esotericism of what the planet Pluto reveals when we go into a new era, right? So I talked about this on a podcast before where the planet of Pluto will show you the good side of what's coming of whatever that house rules, but it will also reveal the negative. And so I think, as we continue on with AI and all of the massive benefits, we're going to start to see the downside of certain things as well. But
Yeah.
For sure.
The last thing that I just want to say, like, I'm looking at some of these connectors on Claude right now because that's a big part of what I'm wanting to do and integrate and get like Mario and get Circle back or whatever what's it called? Circle back? And kind of set up a lot of the stuff that Mario has for a lot of his processes. But like even here, I'm looking like you can connect Morningstar to this. You could connect PitchBook to Claude. You can connect Crunchbase. And so like you don't have to go anywhere to grab and organize information that you want from places where you would want to grab that information to organize data. Right. Like if you're wanting, like, PitchBook's beneficial because you can see like deals that are going through, like, so for example, like with Age of Radio, if we're trying to do like marketing deals or whatever and trying to get companies that are making changes, same thing with Crunchbase, it'll give you a list of companies that are doing different things and their headcount and their volume and all these other things. I don't have to go to those websites anymore. I can just have Claude organize that data and give me information, and then I can go work on how I want to go after them or go and talk to the people that I find. So anyways, I'll stop talking. I can talk about AI forever.
Oh, we can keep going.
We can keep going.
Gosh, we've got like an hour.
I
left,
think
so.
people want to hear. I think people want to hear crypto, though. I'm seeing the comments. People are like, they're not even talking about crypto.
Okay, we can talk about crypto. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that was
Everybody
more
just
of
wants
what
to
my
see
point
Gonzo's
was.
TA.
But we're about the entire economy as a whole. This is about new wealth.
Yes.
And the
including
transfer.
Crypto, AI, and everything. New wealth
is.
transfer part. Yeah, I forgot the transfer part.
Well, that
like
can
it.
bring up a lot
it.
of that can bring up a lot of speculation on what is wealth going to actually turn into, because for me it's no longer, I think we're leaving the era of status being something tangible of what you own. I think it's truly like, even just looking at how X is paying payments, right, based upon posts, interaction to likes and things like that. It truly is transitioning to data, information, your ability to produce and inform, honestly.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is information that I'm not supposed to say, so sorry for anybody that gave me this information privately, but because I don't know exactly what it is because I don't have the app. But like, you guys remember that Parler app? There was the Parler application, and I think that the way, so they're relaunched now under completely different ownership. And one of the things that they're doing with their social media pushes, which I thought was really interesting, is that based off of the social media and the engagement that you get on your social media, you get their coins, like their cryptocurrency, because they have a cryptocurrency piece. Do it. So they pay out, I believe, I could be a little bit wrong, and I don't even know if this was something that they weren't released yet when they told me about it, so my apologies. And so, but like, supposedly there's some kind of
comes
payment,
tomorrow.
right, there's some type of payment currency mechanism when you do engagement or something along those lines, and then they have like different tiered payings out. So Parler, I'm sorry if that was stuff that I was supposed to say, but everybody, so the
Parler, his name is Jeremy
Quintanilla.
Quintanilla. If you need to know how to
I just
spell
gave you
that,
free advertising in front of thousands of people. So go look into Parler and find out what I'm talking about. But the point is that that's like one of the biggest benefits of cryptocurrency. Is like with Gonzo was saying about the self-driving cars, and then paying them over to other people to make transactions happen to provide some type of benefit, right? So those are the types of things that blockchain helps usher in. Right now, a lot of these things are tied to coins, but I don't know where I mentioned this, if it was on my podcast or on this podcast, but like there's that cryptocurrency, there's a company that's buying up telecommunication companies in South America, and they're integrating blockchain technology into it, apart from the coin aspect of it, just to utilize the way in which the ledger works and the how fast it works. So
that truly, blockchain is
correct
technology. It is, that is the value.
Yeah, blockchain will be holding the value, right? It's the gateway to have value available in the digital space. Like I say that all the time, as far as like, we've got so many things that are non-digital, you know, a lot of assets, a lot of value that exists in the world that is non-digital. But the world that we are evolving towards is digital. So that has to enter it somehow. And blockchain is the technology that, at least for now, you know, is the obvious choice. And I'm not trying to hint at anything other than it being blockchain. But anyway, it's blockchain is the solution to be able to do that. And tokenization is doing a lot of that, which I think they labeled this year, 2026, as the year of tokenization. Right, Gonzo?
Yeah,
It's kind of the-
absolutely. Like you start to see more and more announcements. Like the big announcement a couple weeks ago was BlackRock tokenizing a fund on Solana. They were already like, tokenizing on Ethereum. I think Franklin Templeton is always making big announcements about tokenizing on XLM, right? And like Mario says, they all work a little bit different, right? Like when you look at something like HBAR, it's not actually blockchain technology. It's like a form of it. And so it's all going to be a little bit different. And we're going to have to see which ones kind of win out at the end. I don't think there'll be one chain to rule them all, but you definitely don't need all the different layer ones that we have. Like we have tons of layer ones, right? And I think once we get clarity and you get real rules of the road, you're going to start to see which one of these technologies get adopted the most, right? And keep in mind, and I think Mario's mentioned this before, it's not always the best technology that wins, right? You could have the best technology, the fastest blockchain, the most scalable, but if nobody's using it or nobody knows about it, then it's dead in the water, right? And so,
You could have the best coffee in the world, right? Like Jackie, you could have the best coffee in the world, but if your marketing sucks, you're not going to be the best coffee.
I will
Exactly.
find you if you're the best coffee in the world. I will seek you out. You guarantee
A
that.
perfect example is Starbucks.
No, I do not like Starbucks.
No, not. I was
Oh,
saying
yes,
that,
you're
I
right.
was
That is-
saying that it's like, unless you're at the Reserve in Seattle, they have like this whiskey barrel reserve. That's really good. Other than that, I don't know.
Their
There's so many
coffee
better
is
coffees
terrible.
out there than
Oh
Starbucks.
yeah, Starbucks is not good at all.
but they
guys,
have like kind of
I have to
first
give
mover
another.
advantage
I
with
have to
Ethereum.
give another shout out to Hava Java. Like, if you have not been to Hava Java, those barista girls know their stuff, and they've got some good coffee beans. I said that earlier, and I'll say it again. They probably will never watch this channel because they probably have no clue about crypto or anything like that. But I'll teach
That
you
is
if you
so
sponsor me.
Why wouldn't they?
I'll
maybe they're
teach you
like-
if you sponsor me.
There we go. There we go.
The plug.
Clinton, what kind of what coffee do you drink, Clinton? Where do you drink coffee from?
He doesn't drink coffee.
Well,
Do you?
I do
Oh, okay.
a little
let's
bit.
go.
I actually had Starbucks earlier today.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, dude.
There we go. There we
He's
go.
Ethereum.
I know.
So
Marketing is
basically,
working.
he's Ethereum, bro. He's Ethereum, right?
Absolutely.
He's Ethereum. He pays 20 cents a
He
fee,
based
and it's
their
okay.
cryptocurrency off
Let's go
They-
with the sound.
where they drink their coffee.
Wait a second. I do want to get Gonzo's take on that, okay? Because I thought it
About
was
coffee and
surprising.
crypto?
No, about Ethereum leading that
Yeah.
pump. Ethereum absolutely
Absolutely,
crushed
yeah.
that pump. So let's talk
Crushed
about
it.
that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
Yeah.
that.
It's funny because like Ethereum goes through these cycles where people just completely shit on it, right? And that it's a garbage chain and that it's this. It's because the founder, I always forget his name. What's the founder's name? The weird guy?
Vitalik.
Vitalik
Yeah,
Buterin.
whatever.
Vitalik
Yeah.
Buterin. He's a strange cookie, right? He beats
His
his
name's
own
Strange
drums,
Cookie.
right?
It's a strange
Yeah.
cookie.
And
With that name.
like you have him, you have like the Ethereum Foundation, and it's gone through a lot of upheaval and stuff. And so every time that people just like count out Ethereum, all of a sudden, like when it's dead in the water, like price action is absolutely obliterated. All of a sudden, either they come out with an update or something happens, and then it absolutely explodes, right? Because when you look at Bitcoin, I think that first candle was about 10%. The first candle on Ethereum was 20%. And at the end of the day, like you can't argue with the fact that they have the most stable coins that are built on there. They have tokenization, right? Like they are working on updates to adjust the fees and make it more streamlined to make it better, right? And they are the number 2 cryptocurrency that we have.
They're predominantly owned by China.
Well, I don't know.
That
about
should tell you
yeah.
something.
Yes.
Yeah.
China.
But yeah, they're going to lead the market. Right?
God's still just bypassing it. Yep.
Because I don't know anything
And-
about that. Yeah, whatever. I saw what I saw in the
What?
documentary, but I haven't done any research on it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it did have a 20% candle on the first day, and so you need Ethereum to do what it's doing to let the rest of the altcoins follow it, right?
Yeah.
If Ethereum does well, it's good for the entire altcoin market. And that's kind of what you're seeing, right?
And we spoke about this. Me and Gonzo had a little conversation last night, and we actually brought this up. How like Ethereum, people, the attention gets very distracting. Or like people are all focused on Solana because obviously Solana did really well last cycle. Ethereum didn't do well last cycle, so it was a big disappointment to a lot of investors. I feel like many people lost hope of continuing to hold Ethereum, and being in the bear market, most people, or no, I'm not going to say everyone, but a lot of people don't really look at the opportunities or the signs. And we were discussing this last night, how potentially, as long as Ethereum does what they need to do, which is improve their chain, they should actually be well positioned for this transition that we're going to experience of going in from primarily speculation to utility. And once clarity kicks in, we have Ethereum, which is still one of the primary choices for institutions. They still have the biggest partnerships, as Gonzo was just saying. They have the biggest stablecoin activity and many other things. So they are well positioned to take advantage of a utility phase, but it's going to depend on what can they do to improve their blockchain. And I think they've got a couple of they've got an upgrade coming up soon. So I'm keeping an eye on that, because I think the next cycle, being exposed to utility driven project is probably going to be more important than being exposed to speculative driven projects.
Yeah, and when you look at like the ETH Bitcoin pair, right, where it's at, basically in the macro trend, it made a higher low, and we've been rising from that. And what that tells you is that if that keeps going or that trend continues, it means that Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin, right? That's what we look at the pairs for. And so as much as like hate that it gets, it is the number 2 cryptocurrency. The ETH Bitcoin pair looks really, really good to hold that higher low and then possibly outperform Bitcoin. We saw a version of that in the last 48 hours where Ethereum definitely outperformed Bitcoin. But you're right. It just depends on the foundation and what the developers are going to do. I think a big pivot point for them was after this last bull run, and where they barely made an all-time high, where they had to restructure a lot of things. They had to make the main thing, right? They got lost in the fact that they were trying to scale Ethereum, and they were going to lean into layer 2s. And the vision was that the layer 2s would like scale Ethereum, but the final settlement layer would be like Ethereum, right? It would use Ethereum security because it's the best that we have, right? But like all these transactions would occur on the layer 2s, and then eventually final settlement would happen on Ethereum. But that never like took it never took hold, right? What you saw is these layer 2s that were doing their own thing. So all the liquidity got chopped up, and it was a big, like almost like spaghetti, right? That was chopped up everywhere. And they lost focus of the main thing, which is the Ethereum blockchain and the Ethereum token. And so when they replaced the Ethereum Foundation person and they started looking at pivoting and doing new updates, it really pivoted them from let's get away from layer 2s. That's not the solution, right? We've lost focus, and let's make the main thing, which is Ethereum. How do we make Ethereum more efficient? How do we make Ethereum layer 1 more scalable? And how do we make the Ethereum token more valuable and keep all that liquidity trapped within the main Ethereum blockchain, as opposed to piecing it out to all the layer 2s, right? And then the other thing with that was Base, right? Base showed that you can create a layer 2 and you don't need a token. So that was a big hit against all the layer 2s, like Optimism and Arbitrum and all that. Like, and then who just did that again? Robinhood, right? The Robinhood chain has been doing very, very well. It's competing with Base, and Robinhood chain does not have a token, right? So that just goes to show that if you're dealing with Ethereum and you're trying to like build these layer 2s, you don't need to create a token, right? Like you're going to have these proxy bets of these other projects that are built on it that you can speculate on and that you can invest in, but you don't need an actual token, right? Now, a lot of like, when you look at Robinhood and you look at Base, they are using the same technology stack as like Optimism or Arbitrum. So those layer 2s, actually, a lot of the fees that get generated from Base or get generated from Robinhood chain, I think on Arbitrum, it's like 10% of whatever happens on Robinhood, right, comes back to them, right? And so they do have a piece of it, But as far as it goes, like I'm not very bullish on layer twos as like an investment thesis, right? Maybe some speculative bets inside of them, the layer two, but not the actual layer two token.
It kind of goes back to that conversation that we just had about AI, right? Everyone's trying to implement like a wristband or a necklace or something to service as like the device to be able to use. But, you know, you could just make it part of the body by implanting a chip. So same thing like with the blockchain, right? They just have the chains. You don't necessarily need a token to...
Right, because then it makes sense to invest on the layer one token.
Correct.
Based off of what layer twos are doing in regards to the layer one, then, right, Gonzo?
Exactly. Yeah, and that's kind of where they got lost is everyone started investing in the layer twos as speculative bets, and that money never really made it back to Ethereum through fees or any kind of activity, right? And so they kind of had to fix that. And they've been working to fix that, right? Like I had to move a bunch of USDC from my wallet, kind of cleaned up my wallet. I had to clean up my wallet and just get rid of all the garbage in this last pump, right? And then I wanted to move the USDC back into Coinbase, but in order to deposit USDC on Coinbase, it's interesting enough, it doesn't use Base, it uses Ethereum, right? And so I was like, oh shit, I've got to use Ethereum to move this money. I'm going to get charged on fees. It actually wasn't that bad. I mean, compared to Base is free. You can move Base like from one blockchain to another and it's free, right? Like they'll cover it. With Ethereum, you usually pay fees, but I want to say it was like 10, 15 cents or something like that. With Ethereum prices, that's really good.
They've scaled that down so much. Yeah, it used to be like
it used to be ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
I remember when we were doing the Phoenix crypto asset stuff and we were moving stuff back and forth. The cost of the freaking Ethereum was ridiculous.
It's wild.
I wonder if it's because nobody's using it though. That's why it's so cheap. It's like no traffic.
Well, I mean,
I think it was probably overpriced, and they finally found a market level.
Yeah, I think they've done a lot of updates. The last update kind of fixed a lot of things at the data availability later, which kind of affects fees. But I mean, it could be that too. But I mean, I remember.
No, it's probably what you said more than what I said.
Remember minting NFTs? Like you're trying to buy an $80 NFT and it wants to charge you $100 to get
$100
to
gosh.
Freaking wild,
ridiculous.
And people were doing it because of the hype. People were paying more on the fees than the NFT.
Yes.
Because
I don't even want to go back and look.
That was me. I was doing that.
Remember all the metaverse stuff, right? And you're buying land. Remember all that? And you buy the land, but it's an NFT basically. And you were paying, like I remember they would do the release and the chain would get so like overloaded. Yeah, it's like $1,000 in gas fees. It was like insane. It was totally bananas. But that just shows you how frothy this market can get, right? Like for the new people, you've just witnessed 2 days, 48 hours of some pretty decent price appreciation, but nowhere near how like frothy this market can get and the pure insanity of it all, right? So
the illusion.
That's why we talk about, keep your emotions in check, right? And so, I mean, those were crazy days. If you wanted to move $20 in Ethereum, it wanted to charge you $100.
$100.
So
that was ridiculous.
It made no sense. It made no sense, right? Yeah.
I still have some Doge NFTs. So.
Do you have Doge NFTs?
I do.
Gosh, I have. I don't even want to say.
Coyotes.
We've learned our lesson, guys, and through that fire, that's why we're here.
During that crazy time, I only bought one NFT, and I think it was on VS. No, wait, it had to do with Crypto.com, and so it was on what? It was Kronos, whatever.
Oh yeah, their Kronos chain.
Yeah, it was on a Kronos chain, and it was just a little mole.
It
was like a mole with an axe and a diamond.
Okay,
that's the only NFT I've ever purchased.
The one NFT that came through for me, guys, I have to tell you the story, was the Loaded Lions, bro. They actually launched a token. I still have some of it, but that token flew last cycle and I took profits because I was like, I have learned my lesson. And then it kept going and I was like, man, the one time that I implement it will always be that way. It will always.
Where's it at today though? Where's that token at today?
Let me check.
Exactly. That's
that's
what you should focus on.
Yeah.
Let me check.
You should focus on the pack that's probably gone to zero.
That it is. You're right. You're absolutely right.
right?
It is gone to zero, maybe, unless it comes back next cycle.
Board
Unless
Yacht
it comes
Club.
back. That's what gets everybody in trouble.
Where's my
Mm.
little lion?
That's crazy.
Lion, yes, loaded lions. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, I even have what I took profit on. I made about $600. All right. Okay, but listen here. Listen to this. It went up to 3 cents. Okay. And it's now at 0.0001.
There you go.
That sounds like Pepe.
That is.
There you
That's
go.
what you learned
Yeah.
from. But I did. You guys should be proud of me. I took profits on that thing.
You know,
and
the
I
one-
did-
Which is
I made
actually an
profit.
important point, Jackie, is that like
Mhm.
the reason why like you can't be emotional and or scared of having or not having money. Like you
Yeah.
have to remain
Yeah.
completely
Yeah.
neutral to money. Because it's
Yeah.
just the thing, it's just a give and we need it to live and so forth. I get that. But like the more that you can detach yourself from money and have a just a resource specific focus with money, it's
Mhm.
easier for you to get it into investments, be okay with losing some of that money, which then gets you better knowledge and better wisdom on what to do in different situations, and then you become a better investor over time. And that's one of the reasons why we always coach that you just got to start moving forward, because you're not going to win every time and you're not
Yeah.
going to lose every
That's
time.
exactly right.
And you're more than likely going to win more than not the better that you get at doing it more and more. If you do it one time and you have a bad experience and then you stop and never try it again, then you're never going to get better or win. It's just like there's an episode of The Simpsons where Maggie locks herself in the bathroom and everybody tries to break in, and one of those is lock picking, and then eventually the family's arguing and Lisa gets the door unlocked and they were like, how did you do that? She's like, well, I just tried the lock picking again. I don't know why we only try something one time in this family, right? Because again, like when you keep trying, then you can get better at it, and then you'll get, through the locked door or whatever.
Mm.
I like that.
That's interesting. Yeah, my son actually does that a lot. He'll try
Lock
something picks. one time and then never try it again.
Mhm.
And it's like you have to keep trying to get better at it. And if you don't,
Yep.
you're never gonna get better at
From the mouth of a
Sure.
Taurus,
I know,
guys. Tauruses just keep chugging,
it. Just keep pushing through.
keep going.
Yeah, you know the other thing, like it has a purpose, right? NFTs, like regardless of what you think about like meme coins, and there was a real this last cycle, there was a lot of extraction out of the crypto markets, like through meme coins, right? A lot of value was extracted through these teams, right, that try to build these communities, and a lot of hype and narrative, and people believed in them, and there was a lot of value extraction. What was also happening is the blockchains are being tested, right? If you can create a meme coin that goes from zero and not existing to $200,000 market cap, $500,000, 1 million, 10 million, 20 million, right? In market cap, right? And you've got all these transactions, all the volume that gets created, right? That is what crypto, or like I think crypto blockchain, however you want to say it, is very good at. It's very good at raising capital. And that is the use case that TradFi is going to come in when we have clarity and use, right? It is very efficient at going from zero and nothingness into value, right? And so when you see these meme coins that get created, or NFT projects and all the hype and everything that happens, the blockchain is being tested to see how much it can onboard and continue to function and work and scale, and the fees come in, and to try to keep the fees at a lower level, right? That's all practice for when TradFi comes in, and now you're moving billions of dollars through these blockchains, right? And that's kind of the way that that I look at it.
That's a great point, Gonzo. I've thought about that as well. And it totally makes sense, especially, I mean, you look at what's going on with Michael Saylor's company as well. Like it all has to be tested. They can't just, create these credit instruments and then everything just shift over and it all be good. You know what I mean? So everything has to kind of go through that trial period to see if it's actually sustainable. And then we get the live situation, right? So that was a great point.
I mean, look
And they
what
need the
happened
rules of the road.
Oh yeah, with clarity.
Yep.
But look what happened on June 26th with like MicroStrategies, right? As Saylor started to sell Bitcoin, and change his thesis. I understand what he said, and he made all these bullshit excuses about like, well, no, like my core portfolio, I don't sell, but for the company, we're going to sell, or we're looking at a credit rating and we actually need to sell some of the Bitcoin to show the credit rating system that this is value on our balance sheet. And if we never sell any of it, then they're telling us that, well, it's not real value on your balance sheet. You have to show the ability to take profit on it. Is like the reason that he gave, right? For whatever he said, like he's testing how the market is going to react, right? And as he started to first sell the first pieces of Bitcoin, and then Stretch had issues, right? It collapsed. MicroStrategy stock collapsed, right? I remember going live in the academy and saying, "Hey, I'm going in. I'm buying, right? And if you're going to buy Misty or you're going to buy Stretch, like if you believe like this is a low, it doesn't get any worse than this." There was a lot of negativity around that, and look how that's out today. MicroStrategy stock, we bought at 81 on that Friday. We're at 120 today, right? Stretch has recovered from 71 and has been not at 100 yet, but kind of hovering there. And then Misty put in the low at like $11, and look where it's at today, right? And that just goes to show he's going to continue to kind of test the market and kind of build these financial products. And if you believe in what he's building, then those are the things that maybe you invest in. If you don't believe, then you probably have no business in investing in them. But like I remember they were telling us that Stretch was going to zero, right? Remember that? They were saying it's going to go to zero. It's a Ponzi scheme. And it was an absolute great buy if you believed. And look how it is today. It's like at $95.
I buy it every single week still. The only thing that I will say in regards to the Michael Saylor situation, I actually did a long segment on my podcast about it, is that shameless plug as much as I possibly can. And so, but the point is that the only thing that I'll say about it is like, it's not necessarily, yes, it moves with Bitcoin, but because like the preferred stocks and everything aren't directly tied to Bitcoin, one of the things that I was reading this article and doing research on it is MicroStrategy as a company is probably more now going to move very similar to like a hedge fund, right? Because that's kind of almost what it is within financial products that they've created and what they're doing with it. But as far as like what he did, and that's where the thing that boggles me, if people just went and read, well, shit, even if they took the documents and put them into AI and had the AI read the information and give it back to you, it will tell you the reason why it literally did what it did and why it happened. And if you look at that, it's not anywhere near a Ponzi scheme type of thing. It's just a new type of financial instrument that requires certain things to happen to keep it at a par value. The other thing, though, is I don't think that anybody should be absolute in their. That's just me. Like you can say for right now, I believe this to be like a true thing. And the problem is that he got new information about what was actually happening and what he needed to do. He had to change that truth. Right. So like if you're going out there and saying, you know, I'm never going to sell Bitcoin, like just I'm never going to sell Bitcoin as of right now based on what my understanding of the situation that I am in is. Right. Because then you don't put yourself in a position where you can't change your mind, because every truth that we have is open for any type of new data or information to change that actual truth. And so I think that was the only thing that I think that he could have done personally. I think he should have done better is that conviction. Yeah, you have that conviction right now, but there may be a time when something shifts or changes the current situation or the knowledge that I have where I'm going to have to make a different decision. And I think that if he had even opened that up a little bit before he went and said, we're never doing this, then everybody was like, okay, cool. He had to do the thing that he said that he might have to do if something came up.
But then we wouldn't have gotten the dip, right? And so like he did a whole like interview or whatever, and there was like one shareholder, because it was during one of their meetings, kind of went after him about like you don't care about like the holders of MicroStrategies. You know, they've taken a good hit, right? Like when you think about the all-time highs at $500, you know, this thing has come down significantly. That low was at about $81. And the way he explained it was basically like, look, we're doing this right now. Yes, you're going to feel the pain in the regular stock, but they're trying to position themselves so that in the future, right, they're taking that short-term pain now so that in the future it has huge price appreciation, right? And that's the way that he explained it, that they're trying to build this digital credit system. And so right now the focus is kind of Stretch and how much Bitcoin they have and accumulating Bitcoin. And so, yeah, MicroStrategy's basic stock is suffering, but that's short term. And if you think long term, eventually everything that they do building this digital credit program will be good for the company, which will be good eventually for the stock, right? Like you guys can check out that interview, but he kind of did a pretty long interview that they showed where he answered a bunch of questions.
Yeah, it's an unprecedented concept, right? And that's
that
why
wasn't the
What?
yeah. Go ahead,
say,
Mario.
Jeremy?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no,
I
no,
was
it's
gonna say,
okay.
is the interview the one you're talking about? Is that the Diary of a
you could've
CEO
been.
one, or was it?
No, I think it was a different one. It looked like it came out of like one of their shareholder meetings.
Oh, from their
And
shareholder.
then maybe
meeting. Okay, yeah, okay.
And then they were like putting out clips. Sorry, go ahead, Mario.
No, it's okay. I was just saying it's an unprecedented concept, so that's kind of what makes it so difficult to navigate. And most people gravitate to like, okay, yeah, this is probably going to be a Ponzi scheme. This is probably going to be a big fail. But all Ponzi schemes, and I think Jeremy, you're the one that mentioned this before. Like Ponzi schemes, oftentimes it's not that they're necessarily Ponzi schemes. They're just like sometimes there's actually good intentions behind the idea of what they're trying to do. It's just that the execution about it is not effective. It doesn't work out. So we have to be always mindful of that. And so, investing accordingly. Yeah. I do want to. What are you going to say? Something, Jeremy?
I was going to say. I mean, the United States government's the giant Ponzi scheme of all time.
No,
They're just taking money from them. Pay back their money to borrow the money again.
That's exactly all these. That's exactly what credit instruments are, though. Like they just find something that they deem capital, right, and then they start to create derivatives off of it. That's all anything is in terms of like investments or things like that. And then that's what ultimately gets you in trouble, because that's where the US is now, right? 2/3 of our country's income is purely just investing in paper products. We don't produce anything.
Yeah.
So that ultimately, I mean, that happens throughout history time and time and time again.
Yeah.
You know what I was surprised to find is, as I started doing research about like gold and like paper gold, because I was talking to different people, that we have a fractionalized system in gold also, just like the dollar.
That's exactly right. Gold is the capital, and then you have
like one gold bar, and then there's like 10 certificates that claim that same gold bar, and that's totally legal. Right? It's totally legal. So if everyone that had paper gold claimed it all at once, it would be like a bank run. There's not enough gold, right? And so they can legally do that.
Which was one of the main reasons why they took us off of the gold standard in the first place. So they had the ability to take care of any type of run by creating the currency and then managing inflation vis-a-vis taxation or whatever else, the interest rates, right? And so we just suck because we can't tax ourselves. I mean, no president's going to go on an election run and be like, guys, you got to vote for me because I'm going to raise your taxes to 30% so we can take care of this $4 trillion debt that we have so we can get our economy going. No one's going to be like, F you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But Jeremy, can't they just print more money?
Right.
Well, they can't.
That is what's going to happen.
They can print more money in the essence of fixing the situation that I was explaining before, as the ability to get the cash to all of the people that have a claim to the cash. But then that creates the inflation situation. That creates one of the main pieces that can create an inflation situation. So then the whole idea of what we do in our economy is that we manipulate that inflation piece of it by putting and pulling money out of the economy to do that. We're just bad at pulling the money out of the economy because of politics.
Exactly. Because nobody wants to run on that. Hey, things are about to get really hard, and we have to take our bad medicine. But we have to take the bad medicine now so that the system doesn't break, or we can fix it for future generations, right? Everyone's in the then and now, and they want to stay in power. And so that was the whole thing with Doge, right? Like they were doing all these things, and where did that go, right? Like that only lasted a couple of months.
It's the American people, and I don't mean this in like a bad, like not like in a judgy way, but the American people don't have the discipline as a community to all come together to say, oh, we all need to rally around to do this. What ends up happening is that some people try or attempt to do that, but then, and I get where the sentiment's coming from, but then there's other people that feel like, well, why should I have to pick up the slack when these other people aren't doing their part? Which is a fair, like, it's not a non-fair assessment.
Mhm.
Like, it's a fair assessment. So then you have a bunch of people that are against each other on coming together to then try to solve the country's problems, on top of the fact that we get to vote the people in that are in office, but we don't get to vote for the stuff that they do, because we would have been like, no, we shouldn't do this. We shouldn't do this more debt. We shouldn't take on this. We should focus on doing these other things that are much more like responsible, so that we don't put ourselves in a position where we have $4 trillion in debt or whatever the fuck it is.
40
right
trillion.
now.
40.
I mean, yeah,
40 trillion.
40 trillion.
Yeah.
I wish it was 4 trillion. It'd be much easier.
Yeah.
Right. So
10 times more
yeah,
only.
that's my rant.
Are we
I'm
going to do
done.
questions? What time do we usually start questions?
1:30.
Oh yeah, let's start
But we can
questions.
start
What about
Do
contest
questions
today?
whenever we want.
I think we start now.
Sexy, sultry D voice.
I know. That's perfect.
D, do you like talk? Like, do you like soothe your wife to sleep with your voice? Like,
Yes,
because
I
I feel
do.
like if you were in my bed at night, I would fall right to sleep. I know that sounds weird, but if you were like telling me a nice
I
story,
was just about to crack that joke.
I would be
was
like,
just about to
"Oh."
crack that joke.
He's doing late night podcast over here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Late night
Nobody-
with D.
Yep, right after
Double
the building
D.
gets empty, man. I live a whole separate life. Late nights with a D.
You could run
We can start that podcast, bro.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You could run like a radio channel.
Yeah. I want to do movie trailers.
That'd be cool.
That would be
Oh,
Okay.
dude, movie trailers would be hot. Oh, D,
Yeah.
I will bankroll. I guess bankroll sounds
Bankroll.
bad.
Bank
I'll
run.
bankroll making up fake trailers, and then you just do the trailer.
Yeah.
Voiceover.
Heck yeah. I'll do it.
Let's do it. Let's
Let's
have a
do
YouTube
it.
channel that does that.
Let's do it.
And
All right.
Jack is playing on her
Question
phone.
time, huh? So the first question comes from Jamie Blassman. Purchased my first cash value life insurance 4 months ago.
Let's go.
I have
Jamie.
till May 27th to max fund, 4,500 left to max fund. How do I know when to take my first loan from my policy to invest in assets?
That's a great question, Jamie. I would say you don't have to take the loan. If you find an opportunity, that's when you should take the loan. And so obviously there's a great opportunity in the crypto market, which I assume you're in our community with us. As long as there's cash value, you can take a loan from the policy. If you want to fill it up with that 4,500 first before taking the loan, that's totally up to you. Or if you're like, I would like to take the loan, not necessarily having the capital to fill it up. I'm just saying you don't need to fill it to its maximum to be able to take the loan. If you have an opportunity and there's cash value available and you want to take the loan, you're definitely free to be able to do that.
Yeah, I would also
Is there a
just
waiting
add
period
to,
for that,
if you
Jack?
do decide. Oh, sorry, Clinton. Go ahead.
What'd you say?
Oh, I was going to ask: is there a waiting period that you have to wait to take a loan off against your cash value policy?
Great question. With some companies, they do require a year. There are other companies actually that you're able to take that loan within the first year, though. And then what else was I going to say? If you do, like, let's say you did put a whole lump sum in the beginning. This is not necessarily your case because you said May was when you opened the policy. But if, say, for example, that's the flexibility of an index universal life insurance and why our team really likes it is because you have the ability to front load that money and then you can actually take a loan within 30 days if someone were to do that.
Yeah, and the only thing that I just wanted to add from a conservative perspective is if this is your first time using leverage to purchase assets that are either going to depreciate or create you cash flow, like I would just do less than more in this case, right? So like when you're getting started out, like feel
Practice.
comfortable doing the borrowing, getting something, possibly paying that back, even though in an IUL you don't necessarily have to, right? Because like again, like it's just like with learning anything, and finance is no different. The smaller steps get you comfortable for bigger steps and how to handle situations when they don't go the way that you want them to go.
Yeah. It's the same thing with like the dividend strategy, right? I always tell people scale in slowly, see what that feels like, get that first week of dividends, and then kind of get the flow for it, and then you can start to scale up from there. It's like kind of doing first, right? Jackie, would you also consider like kind of where we are in the cycles, like if we're kind of bottoming out, or if there's an opportunity, right? Like let's say the stock
When there's an
market
opportunity,
looks like
yeah.
it's going to collapse, right? Or the crypto market's bottoming out, something like that.
Yeah, you don't necessarily want to leverage anything if you're not going to do anything beneficial with the capital, right? You might as well stay put, and then when there is an opportunity that presents itself, then take the loan. I would say crypto market is still a total opportunity right now, even though we had a big bump. Huge opportunity still left in that market.
Yep.
The bottom is in.
Just be very careful.
We'll see, bro.
Leveraging your crypto.
Yeah. Are we placing bets?
Yeah.
Do I hear like a bet?
What are we doing?
Bets coming up?
We betting on
July
what's
8th.
going on with the cryptocurrency market?
We are.
July 8th. I made a post.
I already
It's
have a bet with
recorded.
Clinton.
Yeah.
That
What's the
we're
bet?
going to go sub 40K.
Okay.
Sub 40K.
So-
Wait.
You're delusional.
Wait.
I
We
made
gotta
that
put
bet.
food on this.
Wow.
We gotta put
Delusional.
food on this. There has to be dinner on the line here. Okay. Because I
Going
want
sub
in.
40K.
I want in.
Win.
The
Jeremy's
gypsy lady
gonna
was
pay
right.
for my meal.
I made that prediction. Clinton, how long ago did we make this bet? It's been a while.
months.
It's been
like-
3 years.
Right. That we're gonna go sub 40K. Well,
Oh my
let's see what
gosh.
happens.
3
Let's see what
Yeah.
happens.
I don't think we will.
I think we come to 44444. That's where I have my bottom at.
That's because of the 44444.
No, it's not. Just because of the 444. It's because Bitcoin has an affinity to 4.
It's because
So when do you what kind of,
Numerology,
when do you think that's
astrology.
gonna happen? Let's go talk to All and Gonzo. So where does sub 40? How do we get there?
So it's I call it a super fib. Like every single bear market has ended
Super
somewhere
fib.
between the 786 and 886 fib, and so that's gets you. But every cycle we've gotten, so the 886 is on the bottom, 786 is at the top. In the first cycles, in the first bear markets, we swept through the 886.
We're all
Every
looking at our
single bear
charts.
market-
We're all looking at our charts. Let's put a bet on this. Let's
You
put a bet
guys
on
have
this.
super fib. We should get a
I don't
every
need
super
to.
fib now.
Actually, guys, I'm gonna change
The
mine to
super fit.
47,000.
Okay.
That's my low.
Every single bear market since then, we've gotten closer to the 786. That puts you right below 40K, right? I'd be willing to accept that we're probably going to drop somewhere to 52K and we have to see what happens. But I have to stick by my guns, right? I made that bet a while ago. I'm not going to like change all of a sudden because we got a 20% candle because
Well, when you did
the
the
bottom is not confirmed yet.
That's right.
or Mario, when you
Yeah,
did
it
the
is.
entry, when did you do the entry targets? There was a 57 and a 38 on there, wasn't there?
there
Those
was
were the second and
those are
third
fib
entry
levels.
points.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
also a 15. It doesn't mean we're
Who
going to
else
go to
wants in
15.
on this
Yeah,
bet?
but
Donnie?
I mean 57. I mean,
Donnie,
if you look
Gilbo.
at that being a second one, that could be more likely.
Alan.
If
57, yeah. Well, no, we
yeah, if
already
the
went
things
there.
happen- Well, yeah, I know that's my point.
Yeah.
We could easily go
We
back
hit the
there.
pocket.
You could
57
double
So
bottom
got us
what I'm
into the
getting at
golden
is if the other
pocket.
one's 38, then it is somewhat logical that you could get to somewhere below 50,000 into a 40,000 range.
Pro and crypto.
Yeah.
I just don't know
anything is
when
logical.
that would.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
golden pocket. So
October.
Oh.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Mario, what's your take? They're asking.
I mean, I made a
You
post
believe
in the
bottom's in?
academy. I believe bottom's in. I believe bottom was in July 8th. I put an article in the community
Ah.
on July 8th. It's there. And if I'm wrong, that's okay because I've been DCing anyway, so that it's not.
Yep.
I'm not trying to be right.
And just so you
whatever.
guys know,
Yeah.
do go and do your own research. These are just
Yes.
us talking about
Talking.
from the analysis that we have done. These
Yeah.
aren't telling you that that's what's going to happen and that that's when you need to buy or that that's based on your situation. You have
And
a
like Mario
specific
said,
situation.
we started dollar cost averaging. Like he did his post. I
when
did my
Bitcoin
call.
was $18,000.
Well, no, July 1st. I said starting July 1st, you should start DCAing till the end of the year, and you're probably going to catch the bottom. So even though I had my
Yeah.
price predictions, it doesn't rule the way that I deploy my capital, right? I started
Yeah.
on I started earlier than that with Sui, and probably earlier than that Bitcoin. But I told people if you want to DCA the bottom from July 1st to the end of the year, you could buy on a weekly basis, and you're going to catch the bottom.
Yeah.
All right, Johnny or Donnie's got a rotisserie chicken. My zone is he just bet me
A rotisserie chicken?
Yeah. This goes back to Freedom Conference. You guys don't know the end.
Yeah.
He shared
There it
his
is.
lunch with me.
Oh, great, fine. We don't know the
Dinner's
end. I'm
awesome.
gonna go and make a bunch of
Inside
ends
jokes.
between me, Gonzo. I'll get Craig involved.
No,
in
we
this.
can all
We'll
bet a
get Craig-
rotisserie chicken on this.
Jeremy, let's bet push-ups.
I'll
Remember
do
push-ups at the
I
in the
love
parking
knuckle
lot
push-ups
that
in the
Jackie
parking
wasn't
lot.
involved in?
Yeah, Jackie wasn't a part of those push-ups.
I'll beat any of you. Let's go.
I believe that.
I'll put my money on Jackie.
Wait, so
That's
so
it.
Gonzo
Thank
has 40,000. Wait, what'd
I'm
you say?
44 to 47. That's my
Sub
range.
40,000. Sub 40,000.
Gonzo's
Sub
sub
40,000.
Sub
40.
40. So
40,
Gonzo's
sub
below
40.
40,000.
My range
Jackie,
is 44 to
you're at
47.
47,000.
44 to 47.
And that's too much of a range. Pick one.
Ah, it's
That's a
between 40
3K
and
range.
100.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's
That's
too much.
nothing
You gotta
when
get
it comes
closer
to
than that.
Bitcoin.
That's ridiculous.
So you're gonna limit me
Freaking
44 to
Gonzo's
47, but you gave
Gonzo's
Gonzo
free-
sub 40. So
no,
if all
no,
of sub
Gonzo-
40, you're gonna give him that?
No. Gonzo said it is below sub 40,000. So his actual prediction is 39,999. It's
Yeah,
a specific
exactly.
number. It has
And
to get to
everything below
39,000.
that. So his whole range is from
No, it
0
doesn't
to
matter because
39,000.
to get
You're only
below
gonna
that,
give
it
me
has
a
to get to
$3,000 range.
39,999. So
And 99
Gonzo's
cents.
prediction
Makes
is
sense,
technically
friends. Makes sense.
39,999.
So
Oh,
if
boy.
it goes, Jeremy, to 30,000,
So
then
do
Gonzo's
yours
right.
47
I am.
sub 47.
Bro, if it goes to 30,000, we're gonna back up the truck.
999.
So, but what if though? Okay, so if mine is 47, that means you're limiting everyone else to go higher. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's true. Doesn't make sense.
Aha!
Mm.
Gonzo, so then Gonzo's is specifically, so then Gonzo's is
He's
specifically
got it.
has to be 39,999, and yours can be 46,999.
You can have a range, bro, but you can't give him a $40,000 range and only give me 3 and say no, you can't do that.
Okay,
Bro,
everybody on
if
this
it
has
goes-
a
If it
$3,000
goes over
range.
40K,
Then. Is that
no one's
fair?
gonna care
Jesus.
whether I got it in within a
We're all
dollar.
going to be wrong.
I know it's gonna go to 52, bro. Watch.
We're all going to be wrong.
We're all
You
gonna
guys
be
mark
wrong.
my range.
Okay, so
Mark my
what
range,
do you
44 to 47.
okay? So what's your side to Gonzo's?
Mine?
Like, what's you're betting that it's just not, or do you have a range?
Well, my
Neither
my
range.
range was 53 to 57.
Okay.
fine.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
so,
fine,
so
that's
he can
fine.
have a
You can have a
$4,000 range,
It's-
but I
it's
can't
a
have a $3,000
So
range.
he might have already.
No, I
won.
like these
If
races.
Yeah.
Is a low. He won. Then if the 57K is the low.
All right, someone remember what we're talking about. You guys sound like that's why Congress can't get anything done.
And to answer your question, Craig, if we break 84K and we make a new higher high, then yes, technically we're changing the trend. And now on the next low is our entry point. It's where you go in with size, right? But you got to break 84K, not like wick through it, but actually kind of hold above for a little bit, and then on that next low, that's sets your bottom, and then whatever that low becomes, that's where you go in heavy.
It's kind of like that last opportunity we get in the euphoria in the blow off top. We get a retracement, which doesn't go quite as high. So,
Exactly.
but it's our last chance to de-risk off the market. This is going to be the same thing potentially. Well, I think it's going to be. We're going to come down, not quite as low as we went, but it'll be the last opportunity we get. So, everybody that's thinking in the last 48 hours, I wish I had bought more. You're going to get an opportunity, and if you don't do it, then shame on you. Because you're thinking it now. I know
Because
you're all
Mario
thinking it
believes
now.
the bottom's in.
Mhm.
No, because
Jeremy,
not because
what's
I believe
your
the bottom's in.
The
But
last cycle it was 19.
I
That
have
number
my
was
same
19.
prediction
We
as
came
I
back to
always
19.
have. It's going to go back to where it started, like the crazy gypsy.
Zero.
woman
Oh,
said.
so
7,000. This all started at 7,000.
Oh,
It's
wow.
$7,000
no, it
is
didn't. It
my
was
prediction.
pennies. It was
Well, I
pennies
know,
that
but
came
from
out.
like the run, it was 7,000 from when the lady made the psychic made the prediction. It's when the crazy gypsy lady said it's going to go down to 7,000. That's always been my Bitcoin prediction.
So Jeremy's is full esotericism, and then we're all out here with technical analysis trying to solve this equation.
You know what's crazy about Jeremy's prediction is that
Is
if we
it
like
could
if the
happen.
next one-
It
Look at
could
God.
totally
Yeah.
happen
In
because
the
we
next
never
run-
came back to retest the high.
exactly. If we don't take out the high, then that
Yep.
means we're making a lower high and we're going to break the low and we're going to go down hard. So then maybe the gypsy lady will be right. Like
I'm
anybody
telling you,
else.
the gypsy lady's never wrong. I keep telling you.
Well,
It's
if
just
she
your
was
timing
right
might be
last
off.
cycle, we all thought it was still going up, and Jeremy's like, "Well, the gypsy lady said," and then sure enough, we were in a bear market.
Who is this
Wow.
gypsy lady?
Yeah.
I don't remember what this gypsy lady was. It was either who's the one Sylvia. It was someone who's dead, but one of her last. Like how Nostradamus made a bunch of predictions, like I don't know,
Yeah.
hundreds
ago,
of thousands of years ago, however long that was. It's like it was Sylvia Brown, or no, Sylvia Plath, the lady, the poet, and the bell jar author. Sylvia Brown, I think before she passed away, she made a bunch of predictions in the coming future, and one of them, whoever the specific was around digital assets. And it was
Yeah.
around a digital asset taking off and changing, and it only lasting for like a 7 to 10 year period or something along those lines, and then it would all be wiped out and go back to where it started. And
This
that
is
that,
how-
that timeline would have been around
We're at six- We're at
$7,000.
16 years with
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
This
Does
is
that
how
mean
good.
it's XRP?
What
Uh-oh.
Gonzo?
Don't say that
Well,
one.
in that time element, like, what does that mean?
Yeah,
XRP?
we're in that
Just go back
time
to the
element with a
beginning?
certain crypto.
That's what I'm saying. It could have been that crypto. It wasn't specifically about Bitcoin. It was
Yeah.
just about a digital asset space.
To be honest, though,
But I don't
this-
remember who it was, and my mom told me, and my mom's crazy. I'm just kidding.
This weekly
I love my mom.
candle. This weekly candle for bear market is massive.
Mhm.
Like, honestly, we need to like look at that. That is
Mm.
pretty huge.
We had a bigger one in I marked it out in 2018, or I'm sorry, 2019. It was 44%. Very
Really?
similar to what we did like right now, where we topped in apathy. We had very similar setup to what the Fed was doing
In
where they had
April?
stopped. Well, no, I think it was in October of 2019. I could pull
I'll
up
find
the
a
chart.
bigger
Let me
candle.
let me
Yeah,
share
Craig
the
makes a
screen.
good point. We were taking questions.
Oh, I'm
and
Yeah.
sorry.
Craig's like, "Are you all ignoring the questions?"
you guys
Craig's
keep
making a
Sorry,
valid
keep
point.
going with the
Question, then I'll-
questions.
I'll
Find
pull
that
it.
date. Go with the questions. Find that
We,
date.
we were talking about the IUL and then started talking about predictions. But that's
sorry.
what makes podcasting
Mhm.
so fun is
Yeah,
That's
it was
right.
September,
ignore all the questions
September
and we just talk
2018.
about what we want.
You
September
never know where it's
2018.
gonna go.
Yeah.
He said 19.
Yep.
It's
September
a,
2018, Gonzo. It was a 38%. Hold on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, October. No, I
Yeah.
got October. Well, I'm on the weekly candle. I'm on the weekly. Let me go to the daily. Yeah, it's a 44% candle in October of 2019, right? And
No,
the-
even in 2018, which was 2018 was literally bottom of the bear market. Look at it. The bounce off the bottom was a 40 something percent move.
that was off the bottom, though, right?
Yeah, which is what we
And-
kind of just experienced.
D,
no?
find the bounce
Oh.
sound and hit that bad boy. I know there's one in the audio sounds for.
Is that all one
so
candle,
bad.
though?
50%. I'm seeing 50%.
That's
50%?
Yeah, but that's how many candles, though. That's
I don't know.
what
I'm not a
see is
TA guy.
right
All I know is the
Yeah.
bottom's in.
there. Okay.
All right.
That was good.
That was good. That was good. Bro.
He's like,
That
I'm
was
out.
good. That was good.
I like it.
Mic drop.
That was good.
All right, let's take some more questions.
Yeah.
All right, more questions. The next question comes from Ernesto. Ernesto, thanks for the kind words earlier today. I heard I read your comment. I appreciate that, brother. All right. His question is: have a specific amount of XRP and Bitcoin as a goal, DCA'd from February to August, but still have 25% of capital to deploy, having enough to achieve my goal. How do I do this without FOMO? Is it tokens over price for me?
You could use our entry strategy builder and take those and break them out over larger amounts in Merlin and then create some good
Mhm.
entry targets. But I would just keep dollar cost averaging in, or
Mm,
maybe up the amount that you're dollar cost averaging in to consume more of the amount of capital that you have to deploy.
Yeah. So
I-
like
I would
right
just
now
wait
that
for a
we're in a
pullback,
rally. Yeah. So like you could do kind of less, chop it up over days until like let's say mid-December. Now you have a daily DCA. And then right now, when we're rallying, maybe you just do the normal DCA, right? Or whatever that daily number is. And then if we get a major correction, then you could always add bigger buys to it, right? And that'll drop your average even more. But kind of DCA is the way to go,
Hmm.
I would say.
All right.
Jackie, thoughts?
She's on her phone.
I would. No. Yeah.
Jeremy, that was
Yeah.
maybe.
A little bit.
Yes.
that was so good.
First off, great job, Ernesto, for the dollar cost averaging. That's harder than it seems. And then I would say this run up, right? I would wait for a little bit of a pullback. There's not a candle in history that's going to go up, forever.
Yep.
And so there's always going to be people taking profits when it's enticing enough, and then you'll get, a droop downwards, and that's when I would start to buy in with your remainder of 25%.
All right.
Jeremy,
Good.
you too.
I agree.
No.
with Jeremy. Concept.
All right.
Kidding.
Next question comes from Jamie Blasseman. Are the children's policies IUL, whole life, or term? What's their primary purpose? Do you own the policies, or are the kids the owner and use their cash value as part of your family bank ecosystem?
Mm-hmm. Great question, Jamie. So a child's policy can be either of those. And I mean, if you're kind of speaking towards the concept of we talk about this kind of building the Rockefeller Waterfall Trust. Basically in that concept, when you're talking about like, what would the Rockefellers do, right? A lot of people have read that book or looked to their ecosystem. Their idea is to cover every individual of the family with a policy, and a permanent policy. And the reason why is because if anything were to happen to the end of the family, think of the family as like a business or an ecosystem. If there's anything that happens to that individual, then that, for lack of a better word, the compensation of the life being gone, it will funnel right back into the trust, and that trust continues to get fed as generations continue to go on. And so if you're referring to that, it would be best to do a permanent life insurance policy. And so the permanent life insurance policy would either be whole life or indexed universal life. We use indexed universal life because it's much more conducive to our current economic environment, because it's so flexible, and you're able to amplify the compounding by getting the cash value in quicker. So that's the primary purpose. And then if the child is below 18 years old, you can own the policy as their guardian. If they are 18 and above, though, they would need to be either owner or co-owner with you on the policy, and because they are of adult age. Boom. I think we got it.
Boom.
Let's go.
There we go.
Good job.
All right. Next question comes from Element 717. Minnesota life insurance. Is there a
life
way?
insurance question.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Is there a way for our policyholders to see where the company's investment portfolio is actually allocated, particularly its exposure to private credit?
That's a good question.
No. Yeah, that is a great question. No, you guys can't see that information actually just from like your policy portal. It might be different depending on certain companies, right? I don't work with all companies across the board. We have many companies that we are able to work with because we are a non-captive brokerage. Freedom Insurance is non-captive, so we have a lot of various companies that we can work with. As far as their dashboard, from what I know, policyholders are not able to see their direct allocations. You can always reach out to your agent, though, and they should know what you're allocated into. That should definitely be part of their fiduciary responsibility in managing your policy. I love that you asked about the exposure to private credit. So this is a big one. That came out, and shout out to Andre Zick. He put out a great video this last week talking about life insurance companies being exposed to private credit. Private credit is a major market, and there's a lot of exposure within insurance companies. Now, some of those insurance companies, though, they offshore their investments to Bermuda. I found that out through his video, and it's very opaque, I guess. It's not clear what those investments are in. And that's the issue with private credit, is that there is no like the soundness of the credit itself and the data is very skew, and so that's why there's such an issue with
What's scary about that thing is about all the rules that they put in place in 2008. There was, Andre mentioned this, there was a law firm that reached out to the SEC to get clarification because a lot of that private credit they're thinking is tied up into the AI build out, right? And they were asking, hey, with all the regulations that came into 08, like, do these fall under those regulations? And the SEC's response was, no, absolutely not, right? They're not. So it means all the regulations that they made, this stuff is not covered. So it's almost like a setup for another big disaster to occur, like in 2008, right? Because all the regulation that they put in to protect that from happening does not apply to all of this that's going on,
and that's
with private credit.
That's one of the reasons why the private credit market's gotten so big, is because it is ridiculously costly. It's a ridiculously pain in the ass for companies to get funding vis-a-vis being on an open public market, whether that's through equity and or through bonds. And so the ability to go and take advantage of the private credit market, you can bypass most of those situations. And that's even one of the reasons why some of the companies, like a big one that was purchased by Kushner Silver Lake and one of the Kingdom's companies in Abu Dhabi or somewhere in the Middle East, is that like EA, Electronic Arts, went back private because it gave them the better ability to get more funding, more money, and possibly other types of leadership or innovation within a private marketplace where you couldn't get that in a public marketplace. So one of the biggest things from the private marketplace being so big, you're going to see even more and more firms consolidate from public to being private companies because it's a better space to be in from a compliance perspective. But you are also, then the problem is that private companies can then be sold in tranche and built into investment vehicles, which people aren't taking into consideration. And then that's where everything gets tied in.
And when you consider debt being issued, and in the case of just various forms, right? When you're talking about government debt, when you're talking about maybe municipal debt, when you're talking about private credit debt, things like that.
And corporate debt, don't forget that too.
Corporate debt, it's so much easier to let people default in things like private debt, right? It's unlikely, it's way less likely for that to get paid back versus government debt, right? It's the spectrum. And so that's why it just as assets and equities have a risk of investment, so does debt, and you should consider that highly.
All right. Next question is from DJ Genius. So when is AI going to start using crypto to pay for services and buying things? Is that something we'll see?
It's already doing that. Like there's already kind of AI things, AI agents that you can get to start trading. You can connect your trading view, a bunch of different things. And it's already a lot of the AI agents that came out in the last cycle, like AI16Z, Cerebro, all those, a lot of them were going onto the blockchain, and the ability for you to give it a digital wallet and then tell it, hey, I want to buy Solana, but I want you to like give it certain parameters. And then it would go out into the different DEXs and it would buy Solana for you. So we already have versions of that. And so I think you're just going to see more and more.
Boom.
Yeah. And you're also going to see it implemented as more and more institutions utilize blockchain and build their own blockchains. And with the AI, you'll see these things coalesce in larger companies too.
You can already go into ChatGPT and literally purchase stuff right from within ChatGPT. So there's already that capability. Once that starts to get plugged into like the blockchains and stuff. So it's just going to be a matter of time.
So breaking news, guys. Scott Bessent just came in and said we can grow our way out of $40 trillion U.S. national debt with tariffs and economic growth.
Oh.
Tariff is just a freaking tax on the American people.
I know. On to the next question. On to the next question, because we are getting BS'd.
Oh my gosh.
How's the market responding?
Yeah, look, check it.
How's the market responding?
I'll tell you right now. It looks like Bitcoin's pulling back.
Yeah.
Bitcoin just
No.
He's like,
No,
40,000 right now.
Yeah, no, it's at 77,445.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still hovering.
All right.
The way he said it though,
Still
it looks like
hovering.
Bitcoin's pulling
Same
back. Ha,
spot.
ha, 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 ha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
right.
like I said.
Dude, I'm trying to buy at 65 cents, bro. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I know, Jeremy.
All right. Next question is from Johnny Welch. Just managed to get 3,200 XRP saved in the bag
Woo!
before yesterday's
Way
run.
to go.
Sure.
3,200, even a drip in the bucket.
Yeah, I mean,
Perspective.
look, here's the thing: a percent is of a percent is of a percent. So if you have
Yeah.
3,200 and it goes up 20%, you made 20%.
Yeah.
Boom.
Let me
Mic
let me
drop.
put a
I think
perspective
he's
as well.
asking. I think he's asking is 3,200 enough?
A lot.
Yeah. It's all
Well, that's
perspective.
what I'm saying. But my argument and my point is that it's irrelevant.
Oh
Is
yeah,
because
yeah.
like if you're
Mhm.
able to save whatever you can
Correct.
into a good asset that gets you 20%. Yes, your 20% is going to be smaller than someone who can get $1 million into it. But if you can't get $1 million into the asset, that's not necessarily your fault to compare
Right.
the amount that you
Right.
have in the asset that you're investing in.
Mm-hmm. Perspective. Yeah.
You're doing
It's all-
something.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
all
you're
about,
doing
like, the
better
number that
than
you put in,
98% of America.
right?
Boom.
That's right.
If you put $10,000 into XRP, whatever it is, right, and it 10x's, you made $100,000, right?
Mm.
And so it's all relative to the amount of money that you put in your entry price and how much exponential gains it does from there, right? And
Mhm.
so
Also-
it's all relative.
Also, if you have 3,200 XRP, I'm not going to do a shameless plug, but it puts you in the 10% holders bracket.
Mhm.
So you're
Of
a
a
top
certain
10%
app
holder.
that Mario can look at.
Yeah.
Investor-
Way to go.
You're a top 10%
XRPinvestor.com.
holder. So I mean,
Nice.
like, look at it from that perspective. You've got
Yeah.
more than 90% of people.
That's
Nice.
also true.
That's awesome.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Nice.
saying. So yeah, you're good. You got to drop in the bucket.
We got two more because Jackie's getting hungry.
Jackie's getting
You got
hungry.
ascension at too.
Or is it hangry?
I got more
we
shows
getting
to do.
hangry. Just kidding.
All right. All right.
Dang,
Next.
Craig's saying 57 likes. Come on, y'all. Yeah, let's get more likes
Let's
than this than
go.
any other show we've ever done.
Please
I don't know
smash
what the
that
back
like
likes is.
button.
1,000 likes.
That's it. All right. Next question. Sarah Blue. Why are so many people not aware of blockchain?
They don't read stuff.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
are
That's
on
my
TikTok.
system.
They're
A lot of
scrolling
people are
social
so
media.
distracted.
Too many people are watching the news. That's why.
That is true.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
people like
Absolutely.
Elizabeth Warren and her anti-crypto army and their
Yeah.
narrative about being used for nefarious reasons. And so, and what's funny about it is that it does come from somewhere, right? I'm not going to sit here and try to act like it doesn't. Bitcoin's original use case, one of the first use cases that really started to make Bitcoin explode was Silk Road, right? Silk Road was an online platform that you could use to buy drugs, stolen credit cards, all kinds of like nefarious things, right? It was the Dread Pirate Roberts that created the website, right? And so because you can't send cash to them or you can't use a credit card, right? What did they use? They used Bitcoin, right? They started to use kind of smart contracts for the very first time to where you got your drugs, your weed, whatever it was, via mail, and then they released the Bitcoin. And so it does come from an original use case of Bitcoin, but then Bitcoin expanded from there, right? It's moved on and it's become what it is today. And so they haven't let that go. They're like in the past of these old narratives. No criminal uses Bitcoin today. They've done the data analytics. Less than 1% of blockchain transactions are nefarious or illegal, right? People use cash for that because it's highly traceable, right? It lives on the blockchain forever. So you can do something, right? Like that's how they catch these hackers that like maybe 12 years ago, 10 years ago did a hack, right? And then now the government is catching up using, analytics to track the blockchain that's there forever. And then they'll be able to see where that Bitcoin was offloaded. And then they go knock on the guy's door 12 years later, and then they arrest him for the hack, right? So it's there forever. And so that's why criminals do not use blockchain. You'd be stupid to use blockchain. Not to mention the government can quickly freeze your digital wallet, right? They can
Yeah.
blacklist it and freeze the funds.
Yeah, because they can see the wallet at it. It
Exactly.
logically makes
Well, they
no
can't
sense.
freeze the wallet, but they can
They can
prevent you
blacklist
from
it.
getting into the
They
exchanges.
can blacklist the
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's the thing. Like cash is still to this day. That's why I keep a bunch of cash in different. Not that I'm doing nefarious.
Yeah,
But,
that's why you
I
keep
keep
cash,
a
right,
bunch of
Jeremy?
cash in different countries, so that if I have to, I can leave and go between different countries.
So if he has to
Whatever.
flee, he has money like in a
Correct. I'm not gonna
suitcase. As James
flee
Bond.
and utilize my debit card or my blockchain. wallet.
No,
That would be
No.
ridiculous. If I'm gonna flee,
that leaves
I'm
a
going to-
digital trail.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's like the most
Yeah.
ridiculous thing. But I also think it's just because, people are waking up, they're going on social media, they're trying to live their lives, they're going to their school, they're going to their job, they're trying to feed their kids. I mean, most people aren't going to go and research things that can be better in their financial futures on a regular basis. And then you have so much negative stuff about blockchain that a lot of the times when people hear that something that's negative about it, they don't want to go and do the research to find out if that information was inaccurate. And so that's one of the biggest pieces why I recommend get a CoinDesk account, get a Bloomberg's account. They have a crypto area. It's all the real actual information that's going on in the cryptocurrency space. I mean, there's probably a lot of other, publications that do it too. But the point is they just don't know because everybody has a negative opinion on it. And that's the same reason why people had negative opinions about the internet. It just takes a lot of time, but it feels like it's so long because we've got a lot of the people that are here have been in on it early, right? We just have a weird conception about the speed of time and how long things take to take hold, that in the scheme of the world and the scheme of the time of this new technology, we're still at the beginning of it.
But also, I'm going to paraphrase Gary Vee on this because I heard him say this. When you're in the trenches of the technology or whatever you're seeing for the future, like we are for crypto and we are for AI, it feels like it's going to get adopted a lot faster than it almost always does, because you believe it, you see it. It doesn't mean that 99% of the world sees it that way or the other people see it that way. And he gave the example of how social media took so long to get adopted. And that's why he kind of is known as the person who predicted all these different social media trends and adoption that we have today, Facebook, whatever, Instagram. But I feel like it's going to be the same thing. So I keep getting asked about AI and is it too late to get into AI? It's just getting started. There's a big hype train right now with crypto as well. The stats are kind of mixed, so I keep hearing different numbers, but I think it's still less than 10% of the world invested in crypto. It's going to take a tremendous amount of time. Let's not forget the amount of people, the amount of generations that we still have living that are not really that accustomed to technology yet. So, not to mention that as well. So it's going to take more time than most people.
And then also too, you have two things. Well, before I go to the second thing, what?
I'm just kidding. Keep going.
Fine, I'll stop talking. I'll save it in rant.
No, you can say it. Go ahead.
No, what I was
Go
going
ahead.
to say was the thing is if you think about the growth, social media, we think that social media is at its precipice, but it's not. It's only been around since we'll call MySpace late 90s, early 2000s, whatever. Facebook 2005. Facebook's only been around for 21 years. We have not touched anything that is still possible, probably from a social media aspect. It's just the next innovation hasn't come. The next innovation could be created in something else. If we're looking from a 2009 perspective of cryptocurrency being something that is actually useful, right? Then we're only 10, 16 years in or whatever the case.
We might still be in the MySpace mode.
Correct.
It's
This is
funny.
no
Shelly
time
brought
at
up.
all.
She asked me.
And
She goes,
so-
"How do you know that some of the blockchains that we're investing in? I won't name the one because I don't want people to hate on Shelly. But she goes, how do we know that it's not the MySpace of the
Correct.
blockchain world?"
100%.
And I was like,
We haven't even gotten
we
to that
we
point.
don't. Why we don't?
Yeah.
There might come out with a new blockchain that is super fast, super scalable,
Correct.
and that beats them all. And
Yep.
we're still investing in the MySpaces of the world, right?
Yeah, when you think about the television was pushed at the World Fair in 1940 whatever, and so then nothing happened with it, and then eventually cable happened, and then eventually DVDs happen. If you think of if you take yourself out from the time of which these things take place, and if you were able to pull yourself out on a linear timeline of things that happen, these things take a long time, and then there's a really big fast push, and then there's another long time, and then a really big fast push, and then another
Mhm.
really long time. So based off of your where you're born and what you're involved with will be what periods of time those fastnesses are in. And for us, it might feel fast because of when we were born and where we're at right this moment. And so I just recommend, if you want a boring book to read that's very beneficial, it's called Speed by Vaclav Smil, and you'll know so much more about time and the speed of things happening than anybody on earth if you just read that book. Or I guess the other people that read the book will also know that. The same amount of information as the people that read that book. Sorry, Jackie, I'll shut up now.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I just want to be respectful of everybody's time. All right, guys. Thank you so
Wait,
much.
what? You were
We
late.
are gonna.
Yeah,
I know.
Late again.
You got Ascension.
I know. I do want to be respectful of everybody's time here. So because I was late, we probably should have ended a little bit earlier. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, do we have any more questions? I like answering questions.
Okay, Jeremy's gonna stay for another hour to
Yeah.
answer the questions, guys. We
Yeah.
absolutely love you.
Yeah.
No, but I'm not sure if you guys want to stay on.
I actually have to go. I have Ascension, but I love you guys.
Okay.
Stay calm.
Okay.
Keep your emotions.
We'll
in
keep with the
control.
time.
Let's see what
frame.
happens.
We'll be back next
Bye.
week.
Love you, Gonzo.
Yeah, yeah.
All
Love you
right,
guys.
love you, Gonzo.
I feel like you guys
Bye,
were just
Gonzo.
getting started.
I know, right? We could go another 2 hours.
We got to do a 3-hour show like Joe Rogan.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I'll just say thank you so much. We super appreciate you guys joining us all the time. We are honestly, humbly, we are very, very grateful, and that's why we show up every day here. So I'll end it with thank you, love you guys, and we'll toss around to you guys signing off too.
Mario's
Next.
first.
Oh, sorry, I should have said name. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mario.
Oh, me first?
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
just great episode. Great having Clinton finally on with us.
Yeah.
Super excited for the weekend. Super excited for the future. I would just say, like, if you feel, even with me calling or saying that I think the bottom's in, doesn't mean the opportunity is gone. It just means that bull run's going to start sooner rather than later. But we're still going to have an opportunity to continue dollar cost averaging in the next year. I don't anticipate anything too crazy. So if you are kind of new to crypto and you're like, man, have I missed the opportunity to accumulate? You haven't. Just as Gonzo said, relax, take a deep breath, keep your dollars on the side and wait for the market to call off, because it always does. And keep watching to our show. Join our community if you're not a part of our community yet. We keep everybody calm and level-headed in there, and we're a different breed, as I always like to say. So have an amazing weekend,
That's right.
everybody.
All right.
Awesome.
Jeremy.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks, D. My name is Jeremy. You guys know that. I apologize. I love doing podcasts, so I talk a lot. So my apologies, Jackie.
No,
for-
don't apologize.
for ranting so much, but I'm so passionate about it. And I want these people to be successful and our warriors to be successful. So thank you guys. I love all of you, and I will kick it over to Clinton.
Clinton.
Awesome. Well, I want to start off by saying thank you for having me here in the studio today. I appreciate it. It's amazing being a part of this amazing community. And I just want to say, for everybody out there, just do something every single day that moves the needle forward towards your goals.
Boom.
I like
Amen.
it.
Boom.
D,
I
you got to
like it.
sign us off.
Well, thanks everyone for stopping by and listening to us argue and heckle and make fun of each other, and
yell.
all at the same time, giving you something that you can use in life. We appreciate it, and we love you guys. Jackie. Oh, and as we always say, warriors rise. Get your shit together.